whole cast is putting the finishing touches to his latest movie, Just the Two of Us. The project is due for release in April, and cast says he's hoping it will hit big.
The storyline was mainly around a couple and how they were able to go through their journeys and go through lots of highs and lows, mainly trying to typify the kind of struggle that could come in when people are in relationships.
A former psychology student, Cast launched his movie career in 2019. In terms of output, Nigeria's film industry, or Nollywood, is the second largest in the world, behind India's Bollywood, producing over 1,000 movies annually. In December, the Nigerian movie A Tribe Called Judah became the first movie to earn 1 billion naira, equivalent to about $1.1 million at the domestic box office. Tribe Called Judah cast member Olumide Oworu says the movie about a single mother and her 5 sons struggling to make ends meet is a common Nigerian story.
I think everybody that saw the movie just saw a bit of themselves in terms of just wanting to do whatever it takes for your mom to be happy and comfortable.
Cast says the success of the movie Lionheart, directed by Genevieve Naji, which became the first Nigerian film to stream on
Results coalition set to commence in Ekiti governorship election. Government agencies, religious leaders and humanitarian groups call for stronger support for refugees and internally displaced persons. And petrol price survey reveals wide price differentials across Nigerian cities. In business, Nigeria's external reserve rises to over 51 billion naira. And that's it on the headlines that we have for you. I am Shola Jaisimi on the News Hour, and with me is Oyedia Urum.
Many thanks for joining us on the news. We begin from Ekiti State, where it was a busy election day in Ado Ekiti and Ikere Ekiti as voters turned out to cast their ballot. AIT's Obinome covered the election in those areas and now reports.
Before 8 a.m., the INEC office in Ado Ekiti was already a beehive of activity with armed security keeping watch. But all this fizzled out as it got close to the start of polls. From the capital city, Ado Ekiti, through Ilawe Ekiti and over to Ikere Ekiti, voters turned up early. The elderly were given priority and queues stretched outside many polling units. It was one of these days when you could feel the civic energy on the streets. ADC governorship candidate Oluwadare Bedije cast his vote in Ilawe Ekiti, while PDP candidate Wole Oluyede voted in Ikere Ekiti. But things got tense briefly in Ilawe Ekiti. The ADC candidate Bedije had a heated exchange with some security operatives right after voting. AIT News caught the altercations as voices rose and tempers flared. The situation calmed down after the Commissioner of Police, deployed from the Force Headquarters Abuja to supervise Ekiti elections, stepped in. He intervened directly, separated both sides, and restored order at the polling area.
Yes, they should go home. At the point of counting, they should put him out from this arena. And I confronted them. Did you try to draw INEC officials' attention? I told the policeman here. INEC officials' attention. I told them they said an average policeman doesn't know who is who. Just like I don't know you, you introduce yourself to me. Yes. I told them, they said they won't leave this place.
Immediately I got here, I had wordings with the police officers on ground just to confirm the situation report I received before heading here. And they confirmed to me that everything has been brought under control.
Over in Ikare-Ekiti, voting went on peacefully, but the PDP candidate Wole Oluyede raised a complaint. He said the Beavers machine at his ward malfunctioned, which delayed accreditation for a while. INEC officials later swapped the device and voting continued.
And you can see it has been a worthwhile here. From 8 a.m. this morning, they've been here, standing, being in process of this electoral process here and making sure that everything went smoothly. And for now, the efforts actually has paid off.
Staying with the Ekiti governorship election, the current governor of the state, who is seeking re-election, Biodun Oyebanji, has expressed confidence that the election was free, fair, and credible. The governor said this shortly after voting in his hometown, Ikogosi, which is in Ekiti West local government area.
AIT News crew traveled for 3 minutes from the state capital, Ado-Ekiti, to Ikogosi to monitor the governorship poll. Electoral officials and voting materials arrived early at most polling units visited, ensuring a smooth and timely commencement of the exercise. An impressive turnout of voters, including many elderly residents, was recorded at polling unit 3, Ward 6, Okelele in Ikogosi.
The process so far has been great. And I must commend the effort of all the stakeholders involved, from the party to the INEC. I mean, there's room for improvement.
I will score INEC at this junction about 76% in terms of logistic and deployment of materials. About security? To be honest, security, I'll give them 100%. It's a one-day election. So definitely security has been massively deployed.
86-year-old Rachel Fatokun and 69-year-old Oye Olabodi described the exercise as a civic privilege, expressing optimism for continued state development.
So I'm happy and I'm proud that I have a very good brother that I can use my vote to make him to become a governor.
Nice. Governor Oyebanji arrived at his polling unit and successfully cast his ballot at about 11:35 a.m. The governor commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, describing the voting process as peaceful, orderly, and highly encouraging.
I am, and across the state we are satisfied, but I need to also appeal to our people to be patient with INEC. With all processes, there will be glitches. INEC has assured me, and I believe them, that all those glitches will be attended to.
As the sorting and counting of ballot gets underway across various units, residents remain highly optimistic that their votes will determine the next leadership of the state. Olushola Adeshunyo, AIT News, Ikogosi.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian police say they were able to manage the security flashpoint highlighted prior to the Ekiti governorship election. The commissioner overseeing the election, Abayomi Shogunle, said this while dismissing report of the burnt-down police divisional headquarters in Ekiti as not an election-related incident. The affected facilities located in the hometown of the former governor Kayode Fayemi. AIT's Funke Ogululu reports.
At exactly 9:53 a.m. on Saturday, operatives of the Nigerian Police Force, drawn from the Southwest Zone, geared up for rapid response and emergency deployment for the 2026 Ekiti State governorship election.
Mobile police, you cannot insult anybody, you can maintain anybody the way the person like, the civilian, the correct, in the good way.
Speaking to AIT News at the State Police Command in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, before heading out to monitor the exercise, Police Commissioner Abayomi Shogunle to disclose the exact number of personnel deployed, citing strategic operational security. Less than 10 minutes later, the monitoring team received reports and headed to Iso-Ekiti. Iso-Ekiti, the hometown of former governor Kayode Fayemi. Political thugs had allegedly set the local police station ablaze.
As long as the arguments, did not disrupt the voting process, then I think everything can be said to be fine.
To ensure tight security, the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of election monitoring, DIG Fayode Adegoke, led a high-powered patrol to over 14 border communities linking Ekiti, Kwara, and Kogi states, which are notorious flashpoints for electoral violence.
It's been very, very successful. You can see the conduct, credible and peaceful. The voters were all excited to vote, and there was no encumbrances in their way of voting. They exercised their franchise under a very conducive atmosphere.
DIG Adegoke confirmed that over 30,000 police personnel are currently securing the election. Funke Ogunlulu, AIT News, Amoke, Ekiti State.
Preliminary election data released by civil society organization Kimpact Development Initiative indicates that 47% of the 384 polling units recorded late arrival of materials. Incidentally, most of the late arrivals are said to have occurred in the urban and semi-urban areas, including the state capital, Ado-Ekiti. The elections data analysis body shared its findings with AIT News.
Substantially, 81% of the polling units started before 8:45. And I think largely it says a lot about the fact that even if they didn't get there 7, as stated, they didn't get there 7:30, but that means they got there before 8:30, or some got there before 8 o'clock. So urban areas, maybe because they have accessibility challenges in terms of roads, infrastructures, and all of those that might be challenges. So there might be more attention and focus in that area.
INEC can actually ensure that they have contingency backups in situations where scenarios like this throw itself up. The question is, how did they respond to some of those situations that came up? Did that contingency come into?
Don't just get to the polling unit and just tell us that Beavers is working well, maybe because you just saw one attempt that was successful, right? We told them you need to stay calm, observe at least 5 attempts. You need to give us the record time of each of the attempts, and how many were successful of the 5, and how many weren't successful or are not successful. So we're able to get that data. So we also did what we call the success rate of accreditation. And also the last check is actually 82.1.
Well, let's bring you more insight into happenings in Ekiti State. We're now being joined by our correspondent, Olushola Adesina, who is live from Ekiti State. Olushola, good to have you join us on the news hour. I know that you've been monitoring it since morning. Take us through what you've seen so far from the deployment, voting, the workings of the Beavers till now. I'm sure collations have already started where you are. Keep up updated.
All right, thank you very much, Adriel and Jai Simi. The election have been very peaceful so far in Ekiti State, and our reporters have combed the nook and crannies of the state, the 16 local government areas, to monitor the exercise. But I must tell you, it has been a worthwhile exercise. As we speak to you here from the INEC office in Ado-Ekiti, the election, the people that are in charge to announce results, they are not yet on ground, and we are still waiting for collation officers from all the 16 local government areas of the state to arrive with results. As we speak now, the rain is falling, and we have few journalists on ground to witness and to monitor the announcements and the collation of results from the 16 local governments, and we expect that this time possibly after the rain stops, journalists, observers, party agents, and other stakeholders involved in these elections, we begin to come in to the hall of the INEC Collation Center here in Ado-Ekiti.
Okay, so Olushola, we most likely will be having this exercise, I'm talking about the collation, spill into Sunday from what we can see now?
All right, thank you very much. The collation, it has not started now, but we hope it starts in no distant time. But the rain probably might be disturbing, the commencement of the exercise. But if this does not start, early enough, we might be seeing the collation, planning to the early hours of tomorrow, probably even to afternoon on Sunday afternoon. So for now, as it stands, we hope that collation officers from the 16 local government areas of the state will begin to come to this collation office here at the INEC headquarters here in Ado-Ekiti. But so far so good. We must tell you that the election have been seamless so far. The security agencies have conducted themselves orderly, political parties, observers, top notch. And we must tell you that hopefully the people's the voting of the people will be reflected at the end of will reflect on the outcome of the election at the end of the day when the election result is announced, probably later tomorrow or when it's announced.
Okay, can you confirm to me that at the polling unit, some of the results were uploaded in real time in the presence of both the agent, the voters who were there to monitor? Can you confirm that to me? And will IREV also be a major factor during the collation?
I didn't get you. Maybe you come back. We'll come again.
No, I want you to confirm to me, when you monitored some of the voting at the polling unit, the results, were you there when they were uploaded to IREV? And would that also be a major factor during the collation there?
We don't know, probably maybe the results have been uploaded to IREV or not. But, when the officials from the 16 local governments arrive here at the, collation center, we'll begin to know whether, these results were actually, uploaded on IREV or not. But as it stands, we still are waiting the arrival of, INEC officials from the 16 local government areas of the state.
Okay, thank you very much. Our colleague, Olushola Adeshunyo, there at the Ado-Ekiti office of the Independent National Electoral Commission, where he says the process for the collation of results will start once the officials start coming in from the various local governments. Thank you, Olushola. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, thank you. And to more reports now, senatorial election was also held in some states to fill the vacant seats in the Nigerian Senate. The states are Kano, Nasarawa, Enugu, and Rivers State. Our correspondent brings you the details.
The Dawakin Kudu Warawa Federal Constituency by-election conducted on Saturday in Kano State witnessed varying levels of voter turnout across the two local government areas that make up the constituency. While some polling units recorded impressive voter participation, turnout was relatively low in others. The resident electoral commissioner for Kano State attributed the disparity of differences in population size among the various communities.
So you find where you have more voting population, and of course when you have more voters there, it reflects on that. But in terms of the sensitization, yes, there has been so much, we have upscaled our level of sensitization.
In Nasarawa State, Governor Abdullahi Sule has described the Nasarawa North Senatorial District by-election as one of the smoothest electoral exercises conducted in the state, citing early arrival of election materials and a seamless voting process. After casting his votes at the Gudi polling unit on Saturday, the governor expressed satisfaction with accreditation and actual voting, as well as the turnouts recorded across the districts.
And this is about the areas, and this is about the best planned election that we have seen. So as a citizen of Nasarawa State, as a registered voter, I have just exercised my right.
In Enugu State, voter apathy, late arrival of election officials and materials, as well as malfunctioning BVAS machines, shaped the Enugu North senatorial election as voters across the 6 local government areas of the district went to the polls on Saturday. Several potential voters were affected by the BVAS glitches, which took election officials hours to accredit potential voters as the machines failed to function.
Voting materials and INEC came by 11. So soon thereafter, and It's been horrible, The Land Primary School too started voting by 2.
That's my worry. That's a worrisome to me or to anyone else. At this point, we shouldn't be talking about Beaver. We shouldn't be talking about network.
Still in Enugu State, former Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi cast his vote at his Amobi Ohun Oba polling unit, attributing his successful accreditation and voting despite reported Beaver's challenges to the Holy Spirit.
No, just thank the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the awesome God of David. Is indeed a faithful God, and may you all remain blessed.
And in Rivers State, Rivers Southeast Senatorial District by-election in Kana and Gokana local government areas of the state was largely being described as peaceful, though cases of malfunctioning of Beavers machines were noticed in some polling units.
What we have noticed is that the Beavers is not the way it ought to be. For me, I did it in less than a minute, but for many others, it didn't work that way, and it's across the place.
Meanwhile, mixed reactions have greeted the participation of voters in Rivers Southeast Senatorial District by-election, as reports of disenfranchisement emerged from several polling units.
What we do, another one, is that if you check your name, you collect your voter's card, check the list of people that they gave us here. Then if your name is there and everything, you have the tickets. Then you give you this to vote.
Away from elections to something about education. Zamfara State is set to begin an audit of its out-of-school children, all in the bid to use data to fix the state's enrollment problem and firm up its education policy. The authorities say there are too many children who are outside the classroom, and that's opening the doors for criminals. And the Supervising Commissioner for Education, Abdul Malik Gajam, shared the plan while updating journalists on what's happening in this sector.
We can't make progress if we don't invest in education.
This briefing is part of Governor Daud Lawan's third year in office review. Education sits right at the center of its rescue mission agenda, and the commissioner says there is real progress so far. More children are getting into classrooms, schools are getting upgrades, teachers are being trained, and safety around schools is getting more attention. The idea, he says, is to build trust in public education. And it is not just talk. Government has approved 20 new schools across the state to expand access further.
It is important to educate children. It is important to create an enabling environment.
But achieving and assessing real progress, data is highly essential. This is why the governor has approved full count of out-of-school children statewide. The goal is to get the real number so that they can plan better, especially in communities struggling with insecurity.
Yeah, we'll have the data so that we can design better. We can design better plans so that we'll be able to remove this idea of out of school, because out of school is a cancer, it's a problem. If you have out of school, then you have vulnerable children that can be recruited into banditry.
Teachers are getting focused. Welfare, training and promotions, he says, are non-negotiable for this administration. He's also asking the non-teaching staff living in school quarters to move out so actual teachers can move in. The thinking is that when teachers are comfortable, teaching and learning will get better across Zamfara public schools. Damina Yusuf, AIT News, Gusau.
Now, for millions of displaced people, home is no longer a place, it's a memory. As the world marks World Refugee Day, government agency, religious leaders, and humanitarian group gathered under the theme, Until Everyone is Safe, to call for stronger support for refugees and internally displaced persons.
Behind every statistic is a human story. A father separated from his livelihood, a mother struggling to feed her children, a young person forced to abandon their dreams because of conflict.
In Nigeria today, we have not less than about 150,000 refugees in Nigeria who are mostly living around our coastal areas. Nigerians who are now refugees in other countries of the world. We have them mostly across the West African countries, particularly in Niger, in Cameroon, and in Chad.
No one is truly safe until the most vulnerable amongst us are safe. We need to challenge the stereotypes about refugees and emphasize that the right to seek safety is a lifeline that goes beyond merely escaping war or violence.
Stakeholders say the rising number of displaced persons in Nigeria and across the region demands urgent collective action.
It is their right to be protected, not a privilege. Beyond every refugee we see is a father, is a mother, a son, a brother, a sister created in the image and likeness of God. Despite where they are coming from, they must be protected.
As conflicts and crises continue to force people from their homes, the message from this gathering is that protecting displaced persons is a shared responsibility, because until everyone is safe, no one truly is.
Wide monitoring of across major cities has revealed a significant differential in the pump price of petrol and diesel. The survey, which covers Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Onitsha, shows that while some marketers have adjusted prices downwards, others continue to sell at considerably higher rates, reflecting differentials in supply cost and market dynamics.
A market survey of retail outlets in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Onitsha shows notably difference in petrol and diesel price across the country, with geography and distribution costs continuing to influence pump prices. In Abuja, MRS sold petrol at the lowest monitor price of 1,225 naira per litre, while NNPC retail sold at 1,260 naira. Total Energies, AP, and Corner dispensed petrol at 1,335 naira, while NIPCO sold at 1,330 naira. Diesel prices range from 1,725 naira at MRS to 1,850 naira at Total Energies and NIPCO. In Lagos, Corner recorded the lowest petrol price at 1,235 naira per litre, followed by MRS at 1,240 naira, while 11 PLC sold at the highest monitored price of 1,250 naira. Diesel price ranged from 1,660 naira to 1,800 naira per litre. In Kano, petrol sold between 1,320 naira at MRS and 1,385 naira at Corner, while cooking gas price range from 1,950 naira to 1,980 naira per kilogram. In Onitsha, petrol price range from 1,310 naira per litre to 1,360 naira at Corner. The survey also found that NIPCO was not dispensing fuel, while MRS and 11 PLC stations were not available in the surveyed area. The survey shows that Lagos, home to the Dangote refinery and a major import hub, recorded some of the lowest pump prices, while cities farther from supply centers posted higher prices due largely to transportation and logistic costs. Although the recent 75 naira reduction in Dangote refinery's gantry price and easing global oil prices have started to influence the market, the impact on retail pump price remained gradual, with only modest reduction observed across many outlets. Landry Balola, AIT News, Abuja.
So we have joining us virtually to weigh in on this price differentials in petroleum products, petrol, diesel, and all of that across Nigeria, the national president of the Petroleum Products Retailers, Owners, Outlets of Nigeria, with the acronym PETRON, Dr. Billy Gillis Harris. Thank you, sir, for coming on the news.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, Nigeria.
Okay, so the first question is this. We know the sector is deregulated, so to say. But as it is, we have just one refinery which services every one of you who is into retailing, petrol especially. Why do we have, from Landry's report, that discrepancy, so to say, differentials in the pricing in major cities?
All right, thank you. My association's name is Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron. And your question is simply for us to explain why there are differentials. Why there are differentials is because the distance from one state to the source of product is different from the other.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, it takes different kinds of situations, the vagaries of transportation, the challenges of financing, and also time span to deliver from one location to the other. So that's the reason why there are price differentials. But the moment petroleum products being taken from our depots, from the depot owners and the MEMAN and NNPC, begin to flow, freely, the product will land at our stations at a price that will be easily made to be uniform.
But what do you think can be done to ensure that these prices are stabilized? And the government as well, is there anything they can do to ensure that the consumers are not exploited?
Well, Petron takes pride in ensuring that we keep our covenant with Nigerians. Our covenant with Nigerians is simply to deliver quality petroleum products and also ensure that products are delivered to users at affordable price, and also to make sure that the quality of petroleum product that is delivered from our retail outlets are top-notch and according to how NMDPRA has approved. So what we can continue to do is to deliver the best service within our ability, not to lose revenue, because once we lose revenue, then it means that we cannot restock. And when we cannot restock, then it will be difficult for the populace to be able to have access to refined product that is practically running our energy needs at this time. So we certainly will continue to do what is good, depending on NMDPRA to support us to ensure that we have all the level playing field, whether it's from refiners or from importers, that petroleum product pricing are within the range of what is approved to be sold.
So you just used the word approved within the, the means of what is to be sold. We're not unaware of the fact that the pump price of petrol, rather the price of crude, has come down. When it rose due to the Iran-US conflict, we knew that fine, getting petrol at a certain amount, one will need to sacrifice. But not a few Nigerians believe that now that the cost of a barrel of crude has come down, that those of you who retail should also be able to bring the cost of a liter of petrol, pump price, that it should come down.
Well, Nigerians have a right to make that expectation, and we indeed understand, because we from Petron, we run our businesses, with a human face. And we try as much as we can to run our business within the confines of what the business environment dictates. Dangote Refinery brought price down by 75 naira a liter. And then, of course, the depots where we buy from also reduced theirs by just a little under 5 naira. And so when we pick product from there, those differentials will show. But why you have not seen them immediately at the retail outlets from the reduction in the price of crude oil is simply because we have to have, logistics services, transportation services, which is being provided by NATO very efficiently, and also Nupeng and PTD, that is doing a very great job in ensuring that petroleum products reach our retail outlets safely and soundly. And the arguments of petroleum production landed is not there because of these two organizations that are doing such a great work. But you do not expect that if products, crude oil price changes just now, it will reflect in the depots, in the retail outlets. It will take a few days, sometimes even a week,
before it will reflect.
Okay.
Because of logistics and other vagaries in the business that will not enable us to make the changes at the same time.
Okay, thank you
All right,
for
Dr.
your
Gili, we must
perspective.
thank you for that insight into the variation in the pump price of petroleum premium motor spirit. Thank you very much for joining us on the news. I've been speaking to the National President, Petroleum Product Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria.
Thank you.
Well, up next on the news are his business report.
Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
Pass with the chicken and all purpose.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
This is the true taste of home.
And culture.
Chef of life.
Oh, remember how mom used to wake up before everybody to make breakfast, iron our uniform? Let's surprise that woman with something special.
Treasure Mom this 2026 with a trip to Zanzibar in the 3 Crowns Mom of the Year competition. Write a note using each letter in your mom's name and upload with a photo of 5,000 Naira worth of 3 Crowns products on our website or at any of our collection centers. T's and C's apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Nigeria has survived everything not because we are lucky, but because in the hardest moment when the news breaks and the grief is raw, someone somewhere makes a choice.
To confirm before spreading panic, to empathize rather than assign blame, to hold when everything inside said, pooh.
For terrorism is not only the attack that sparks our outrage. Terrorism is also the choices that follow, the ones that feed division and erode the bonds of nationhood and patriotism that hold us together as Nigerians.
Let us choose to defeat terror, one division at a time. Take a pulse, choose Nigeria.
Let's all unite against terror.
TerraCube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Darling natural twists blend with her hair over time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She's really more beautiful every week. Darling natural twists get better every day, just like you.
Welcome to Business Reports. I am Amaka Okoro. Nigeria's external reserves have reached the Central Bank of Nigeria's projected 2026 target of $51.04 billion, strengthening the country's external buffers despite renewed pressure on the naira in the foreign exchange market. Fresh data from the Central Bank of Nigeria shows that external reserves climbed to $51.04 billion as of June 18, 2026, meeting the Apex Bank's year-end projection ahead of schedule. The increase represents a significant improvement from the $37.71 billion recorded during the corresponding period last year, reflecting stronger oil earnings, improved remittance inflow, and sustained foreign portfolio investments. However, despite the strong reserve position, the naira closed the week weaker at the Nigerian foreign exchange market, depreciating by over 1% across the 5 trading sessions to close at 1,370 naira 46 kaba to the dollar. Enter this week's Nigerian exchange market recap. The equities market recorded this week on a bearish note as investors' sentiment weakened, dragging key market indicators lower, while trading activities remained robust the market recorded a decline in both the NGX All-Share Index and overall market capitalization, with losses spread across most sectors. Here are the highlights from the trading activities for the week ended June 19, 2026.
A total of 3.075 billion shares, valued at 254.6 billion naira, were traded in 287,157 deals during the week. Although trading volume declined from the previous week's 4.964 billion shares, the value of transaction rose significantly from 207.5 billion naira, indicating stronger market activity in terms of value. The financial services sector retained its position as the market's most active segment, accounting for more than 2 billion shares, worth 64.5 billion naira in over 121,000 deals. The sector contributed 64.4% of total market volume. The services sector came next, with 175.7 million shares, valued at 2.8 billion naira, while the consumer goods sector recorded 133.4 million shares, worth 12.7 billion naira. By trading volume, Access Holding, Sterling Financial Holdings, and Jais Bank emerged as the most active stocks for the week. Combined, the three companies accounted for more than 819 million shares, valued at 12.2 billion naira, representing 26.6% of total market volume. On market performance, the NGX All-Share Index shed 3.59% to close at 235,941.27 points, while market capitalization declined to 151.3 trillion naira. Most sectoral indices also ended the week lower. Market breadth remained negative, with only 11 equities posting gains compared with 40 in the previous week. 78 stocks recorded losses, while 57 equities closed unchanged. Meanwhile, the Nigerian exchange suspended trading in the shares of Fortis Global Insurance on June 17, 2026. According to the exchange, the suspension will allow for the reconciliation of shareholders' records between the company's registrar and the Central Securities and Clearing System ahead of the listing of reconstructed shares. Olamide Ariyo, AIT News.
And as business reports, I am Amaka Okoro. The news continues.
2026 is here. Watch all 104 matches live on StarTimes, from the opening match to the final showdown.
And this time, it's not just watching, it's watch and win.
Subscribe or buy a StarTimes decoder and stand a chance to win the 10 million naira grand prize, plus many exciting prizes nationwide with subscription packages starting from just 4,000 naira. Recharge now via StarTimes app or visit any StarTimes office or dealer outlet near you.
StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
My Oga, welcome, sir.
We need to look at this report.
What can we offer you?
Don't worry.
Huh? Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
Pass the beef and crayfish.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
This is the true taste of home.
And culture. Chef of life.
Every day, across forests, highways, towns, and villages, brave men and women stand watch so that Nigeria can sleep. They leave their families behind, confront danger head-on, and make sacrifices many of us will never see. Yet, the enemies of our nation continue their assault. They target our children. They murder innocent citizens. They force families from their homes. They turn thriving communities into places of fear and uncertainty. Their goal is simple: to break our spirit, divide our people, and steal the future of our nation. But Nigeria is stronger than terror. As we demand greater accountability, stronger security measures, and more effective action from those entrusted with our safety, we must also play our part. Support our security forces, salute their gallantry, stand with those who stand for us. If you see something, say something. Let us be our brother's keeper. We must never surrender to fear, despair, or hopelessness. This is not the time for division, not by tribe, not by religion, not by region, not by political party. Because terror recognizes no ethnicity, no faith, and no ideology. Its enemy is all of us. And together, united as one people, we can defeat it. For our children, for our communities, for our future, for Nigeria. Join the movement. Stand for our country. Stand for one another. #Unite Against Terror.
Thanks for still staying with us on the News Hour. To more reports now, the Delta State Police Command is enforcing the ban against the use of unregistered vehicle number plates and those using defaced plate. The enforcement, according to the State Commissioner of Police, Yemi Oyeni, is part of ongoing effort to strengthen public safety, enhance crime prevention and improve vehicle identification for security purposes. AIT's Adire Apomeri has more.
The Commissioner of Police, Yemi Oyeni, personally led the enforcement operation on the ban against using vehicles without registered number plates within Asaba and its environs.
Are you working in the local government? Are you the one that to play the vehicle? Any passenger without number, you are going to be a good example.
Speaking during the exercise, the CP urged vehicle owners to comply with the registration and ensure proper display of approved number plates.
We are after vehicles that are not registered. Vehicles that are registered but the plate number are defaced. Vehicles that are registered but they cover the plate number. People that are using fake and unauthorized plate number.
The police boss warned that the command would sustain the operation across the state.
No room for keeping plate number inside vehicle. No to that. They should affix it. The vehicle and the owner, we should be able to identify them. The purpose is to reduce crime, to prevent criminals from using unregistered vehicle to perpetrate their activities.
Over 26 vehicles were impounded and the offending motorists were arraigned before a mobile court city in Asaba. Adiri Akpomeriene, AIT News, Asaba.
Amid Nigeria's evolving security challenges, the Nigerian Army says its commitment to boosting operational readiness through rigorous personnel training is non-negotiable. The General Officer commanding the 3rd Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Folusho Oyinlola, said this while opening the 2026 Warrant Officers and Senior Non-Commissioned Officers competition held at the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment in Jos.
I apologize for that mix-up there. Now, the Edo State government has intensified war on kidnapping with the demolition of another building belonging to a kidnap syndicate leader arrested in Uromi, Esa North East local government area. Governor Monday Okpebolo had a few days ago warned kidnappers, cultists and other offenders not to take his simplicity for granted, even as the number of properties demolished in connection with criminal activities have now reached double digits.
Don't take my simplicity for granted.
Less than 24 hours after Governor Monday Okpebolo warned criminal elements, particularly kidnappers, not to take his simplicity for granted, the state government special security squad has carried out another demolition exercise in Uromi. The demolished property is said to belong to an alleged kidnap kingpin identified as Christian Okodowa, who is currently in police custody in Benin City. Secretary to the Edo State Special Security Squad, John Izegagbe, disclosed that preliminary investigations linked the suspects to a series of kidnapping incidents within Uromi and surrounding communities.
Who has been linked severally to a kidnapping blockchain where imports mercenaries to this Uromi to do this kidnapping business. And all the arrests we've made have linked him directly to all of this. And we call that conspiracy, aiding and abetting into kidnapping. And the investigation have proven that he is the mastermind and culprit of the most very ferocious kidnapping in this Uromi. And the hands of the law has met him. And this is what the result is.
In the words of an old proverb, as long as the bird keep flying without perching, the hunter will continue shooting. For the Okpebolo administration, the fight against kidnapping remains relentless and unwavering. Here's Inarume, AIT News, Benin.
Outside Nigeria, several persons have been killed by Israeli airstrikes on the southern Lebanon less than 24 hours after a new ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah was announced. The Lebanese state news agency said at least 11 persons were killed after Israeli warplanes, drones and artillery targeted more than a dozen areas, many around the city of Nabatea.
Israeli military says it has struck Hezbollah targets after the group launched more than 50 projectiles towards Israeli forces in southern Lebanon. Washington has criticized Israel's continued military operations in Lebanon, which became entangled in the wider U.S.-Iran conflict after Hezbollah fired rockets into Israel in March, following a strike that reportedly killed Iran's supreme leader. U.S. officials fear escalating tensions could jeopardize the U.S. brokered peace agreement with Iran, which includes a commitment to end hostilities across multiple fronts, including Lebanon. Tehran has insisted that any lasting settlement must also address the situation in Lebanon.
Well, coming up now on the News Hour is entertainment reports.
World Plantain Day was June 5, so we are a bit late to the party. But honestly, plantain deserves more than one day. Africans, Caribbeans, Latin Americans, pretty much everyone with a frying pan knows this fruit is special.
Plantain is universal. That's why we say plantain without borders. Almost everybody eats plantain. Like, plantain does not need a passport to move around. Plantain is everywhere. So we just decided plantain needs its own day. That's why we are celebrating Dodo Gang Festival, Plantain Festival.
Plantain, you can create anything with plantain. Plantain goes with a lot of things, with rice, swallow. You can use plantain as a swallow. You can use plantain to eat as porridge. You can use plantain with rice. I mean, plantain without borders. You can use plantain to bake. You can make bread with it. You can make a drink from plantain. So it goes beyond.
Plantain's basically banana's tougher cousin, bigger, thicker, not as sweet and way more versatile. It's packed with vitamins, minerals and fiber, which is great for digestion. No wonder so many cultures built meals around it.
Up next is sport, and Lailawa is standing by.
Welcome to Sports Track. I am Lai Lawala. Starting off with the FIFA World Cup, the White House says it is considering easing travel restrictions on Iran's national football team during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Iran has been required to enter the United States just one day before each match and leave on the same day after playing under the terms of its visa arrangements. According to Andrew Giuliani, Executive Director of the White House World Cup Task Force, discussions are underway about adjusting travel arrangements for Iran's final group stage match against Egypt in Seattle on June 27. Giuliani says the administration is seeking to balance fair competition with national security concerns. Iran, which is based in Mexico during the tournament, argued the restrictions undermine equal treatment and affect the team's preparation. The Iranian Football Federation says it plans to formally complain to FIFA if the current measures remain in place. Still on the World Cup, the Netherlands cruised to a 5-1 victory over Sweden in their second Group F match at the FIFA World Cup, moving to the top of the standings, pending the outcome of the group's other fixture between Tunisia and Japan. Sunderland forward Brian Brobry and Liverpool's Cody Gakpo both scored braces as the Dutch raised into a 4-goal lead before Newcastle United winger Anthony Elanga pulled one back for Sweden, while Cruciencio Somerville's victory for Ronald Koeman's men in at the time. Sweden had opened their campaign with a 5-1 win over Tunisia, while the Netherlands were elsewhere 2-2 draw by Japan in their first group match. Meanwhile, Ivory Coast and Germany are set for a crucial group E showdown as both sides set battle for control of the group. Ecuador and Curacao, on the other hand, will be seeking redemption after suffering defeats in their opening matches. Now, still staying with the World Cup, Haiti and Turkey have both been eliminated from the 2026 FIFA World Cup after suffering 2 defeats in their group stage. The elimination was confirmed following FIFA's revised tie-break rule, which gives priority to head-to-head results ahead of goal difference. The rule change also means that co-host Mexico and the United States have secured top spots in their respective groups with a game to spare. The new regulations are the divided football analysts and experts. Supporters of the rule argue that the head-to-head results provide a fairer assessment of teams' performances against direct rivals. Critics, however, maintain that overall goal difference remains a better measure as it reflects a team's complete record throughout the group stage. Now away from the FIFA World Cup, Jessica Pegula produced a dominant deciding set to stun world #1 Aryna Sabalenka and reach the Berlin Open final. The American recovered from losing a tight second set to secure a 6-4, 6-7, 6-love victory over Belarusian top seed. Pegula, who had lost 5 of her previous 6 meetings with Sabalenka, impressed with her flat ground strokes and strong return game to take control of the match. Sabalenka struggled throughout and once again faltered in a deciding set after previously losing a third set 6-love in their French Open quarterfinal. Pegula had earlier fought back from 5-2 down in the second set to force the tiebreak before rain delayed play for an hour. When play resumed, Sabalenka briefly responded to level the match, but Pegula dominated the final set without conceding a game. Speaking after the win, Pegula said she stayed composed despite Sabalenka's late fight back, adding she prefers to remain calm rather than...
Nigerian filmmaker Paul Cast is putting the finishing touches to his latest movie, Just the Two of Us. The project is due for release in April, and Cast says he's hoping it will hit big.
The storyline was mainly around a couple and how they were able to go through their journeys and go through lots of highs and lows, mainly trying to typify the kind of struggle that could come in when people are in relationships.
A former psychology student, Cast launched his movie career in 2019. In terms of output, Nigeria's film industry, or Nollywood, is the second largest in the world, behind India's Bollywood, producing over 1,000 movies annually. In December, the Nigerian movie A Tribe Called Judah became the first movie to earn 1 billion naira, equivalent to about $1.1 million at the domestic box office. Tribe Called Judah cast member Olumide Oworu says the movie about a single mother and her 5 sons struggling to make ends meet is a common Nigerian story.
I think everybody that saw the movie just saw a bit of themselves in terms of just wanting to do whatever it takes for your mom to be happy and comfortable.
Cast says the success of the movie Lionheart, directed by Genevieve Nnaji, which became the first Nigerian film to stream on Netflix in 2019, also inspired filmmakers.
We actually didn't have avenues of distribution like that, but ever since Genevieve came up and did Lionheart, and it just opened up, the door to Netflix and other streaming platforms. It just made people see possibilities.
But filmmakers say access to funding is still a challenge and want Nigerian government and financial institutions to invest more in the movie industry.
There's been improvements in the cinematics, the cinematography, the lighting, so there are more opportunities, sound design, as opposed to before when it was just, get a camera, you have a story, you point and you shoot.
And the result and the growing market is good news for filmmakers like Paul Cast and millions of Nigerians who are waiting to see the next big film on their screens. Timothy Obiezu, VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
Of African elegance as luxury fashion house Lord Pulse debuts at the female-led Candice Berman Gallery in Rosebank, Johannesburg. But before I dive into the style, here's what we have for you on today's show. We see how an artisan accessory brand from Eswatini is turning traditional weaving into modern elegance and economic opportunity for women. Discover how Joey Kubutlu left his job as an ad executive to make sustainable furniture in Johannesburg, South Africa. Then we go on a tour of Nairobi with visual arts curator Nyambura Warenge. I am Zimi Ngonapagate Mabunzi and you're watching AfriMax. Ojude Oba, meaning the King's Forecourt, is a colorful Nigerian festival where the Ijebu people come together in honor of their king and celebrate their rich culture. Take a look.
Ekabo si ilu Ijebu Ode. A few heard about Ojude Oba Festival. It is not just a festival, it is a living tradition where color speaks loud. History walk with the kings.
Ojude Oba started over 100 years ago when Muslim converts in Ijebu Ode came together after it to thank the Awujale for their freedom to worship. That simple thank you became today's Ojude Oba, the King's Forecourt.
This year, something different is happening. A princess, yes, royalty is once again riding into the spotlight. In the land where tradition has long spoken on behalf of women, Princess is rewriting the narrative, choosing to speak for herself with her grace and the power of her horse. She rides out, speaking volume with every gallop. Now, one may ask, how did she go from the palace hallway to the back of a horse? Few days ago, I met with Princess during her rehearsal. Let's find out. Good morning, Princess.
Morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Great.
And you?
I'm fine, as you can see. I'm enjoying the weather, of course.
Great.
Wow. So what name do you call this?
It's 001.
001. Why 001?
Because it's literally one of the most, if not the best behaved horse in the whole of Ijebuland.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people will want to know, how did you become a horse rider?
Oh, fantastic question. Ojujoba made me a horse rider. Let's start from there. But I've always loved horse riding from when I was a kid. But you know our parents are overprotective and then they will say, oh no, don't do this, you're gonna fall off, you're gonna do this. And I've always wanted to ride Ojujoba as a kid. But my dad would always say, oh, prince and princesses don't ride Ojujoba. You're meant to sit down and let the balogos and the elections come and do their thing. So we don't have a choice, we have to accept.
And how did you start it?
So one of my uncles also loves horse riding and he's been doing it to Ojujoba. So I just decided to join them.
Okay. And your first experience, how was it like?
You've been selfish. I'm not meant to say it, but yeah, I need to say it so I can encourage other people. The first time I climbed on horseback, I fell.
Wow.
Like I wasn't even seated properly. The horse just did this and I fell.
Wow.
My first ever time. But that didn't discourage me. I still climbed and I rode all the way from my family house to the palace and back to the family house on horseback the same day. This will be my first year that I'll be doing stunts in Ojujoba. Like the horse rearing, the dancing. It's something I've been practicing for a while. So yeah, expect that and maybe more.
Today is Ojude Oba Festival and the streets are alive. You can feel the energy, music, color, and the smell of food fill the air. Every corner welcomes you with something unique, a glimpse, a rhythm, and a heartbeat of the festival. The gong, the talking drum calls out like it's saying, welcome home. This is more than a festival. It is a celebration of tradition and culture. I'm here to join Princess at her family house as she prepares for the festival.
Today I'm wearing Black Ajoju 007 and it's specifically designed for me, for Ojujoba, to showcase royalty.
As you can see, the horses and the riders are ready and it is time for parade. Let's go there! So guys, look over there. Those are the horse riders. Now, let me give you a quick rundown of what is happening here today at the Ojude Oba Festival. Over 30 families are riding in this year's festival, all to honor the king, the Awujale of Ijebu Ode land. What makes Ojude Oba special from other festivals that we have in Nigeria?
I think it's because of the pop of colors, the horse riding, the regbe display. You know, that's one time where everybody bring their A game out. Everybody wants to wear their new glasses, everybody wants to wear their new jewelry. So the fashion, the pop of color, people love it. I don't just want Ijebu to be on Nigerian map or just on the map. I want people to see Ijebu through my lenses like, ah, this is beautiful. People are doing this and they would also want to experience it.
Wow, I must be honest with you. I'm finding it very difficult to wrap up this report. The sight, the sound, and the horse riding. The energy from this festival is out of this world.
Well, we do love a good fashion show, which is why I am so excited to be here today at 223 Jan Smuts Creative Hub, Johannesburg. I'm here with founder and creative director Busisiwe Silwanyana, whose vision behind it all is as captivating as the looks on display. Busi, can you tell us a bit more about the inspiration behind this brand?
The inspiration behind the brand comes from me growing up, you know, and seeing my mother sew her clothes on the dining room table, and that inspired me a lot. And she used to be a good dresser as well. So as I was growing up, I was looking up to her. Collections really are based on dressing the boardroom. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be in corporate. You could be an entrepreneur. You could be a creative as well, who wants to look elegant timeless, chic, but also with the African luxury in what you are wearing. So at Lord Paul's, we're just bringing African luxury into the boardroom, and that's what inspires all our collections, and also to make sure that we're able to dress that woman as well outside of their workwear.
We understand that you're showcasing both old and new collections. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so Lord Paul started in 2019, just before COVID. So after running for these couple of years post-COVID, we want to now to officially launch Lord Paul's to the public.
What we've seen so far looks stunning. I cannot wait to see more. In the heart of Eswatini, Coco Collection blends ancestral basket weaving techniques into trendy handbags. This is craft with heritage and hope.
All over the world, bags and handbags in particular are inseparably linked to their wearer. Simple and practical versions that can carry shopping or other mysterious items are humorously known as granny bags. They can be simple or intricate. And this handbag collective in Eswatini has looked to basket making to make something special.
That makes me proud of being Leswati, who can make something that will be known around the world, and also it will just make people know much about Eswatini, and also the product that came from Eswatini, they just boom. We had one of our bags, Tembi, it's a Tembi bag. It was on Vogue magazine, and the love we put when we're making the bags, I think also it added value on the bags.
The original design for these bags was inspired by how rural women in Eswatini were making woven baskets and mats. Product designer and developer Philippa Thorne had been working with master weaver Zintle Vilekati on a basket weaving project. In 2014, they started experimenting with techniques to showcase high-value weaving. Why did they want to expand from baskets to bags?
We started thinking that people have much of the homeware, like the baskets and the placemats, and we also need to keep the women doing more work so that they can do something that people will buy more also. Besides that, we were inspired about on weaving. Like I always say, I'm more than 50 techniques, so I can make a bag today, but next time I can make something else. The difference between a bag and a basket is that the bag is more refined, so the coil is more smaller than the basket.
High-value handbags would mean that the weavers would earn more.
I really saw how in Europe craftsmanship was really highly valued as, beautiful for its artwork, for its skill, for the heritage and culture and the stories that it told. And I really felt like sometimes the weaving here wasn't respected in the same way that it really deserved to be. And really being able to create something that would give the women a living wage, would be able to kind of elevate weaving in the eyes of global audience, really.
But how did they overcome the practical challenges of designing functional handbags?
This bag, the Zintle, was actually the first bag we ever made. And it was quite a process to develop it. So it actually was over the period of about a year, from first developing the weaving side and then also the leather side. In terms of the leather, we worked with an NGO called Nest. I reached out to them and I said, I'm looking for someone with expertise in handbag design. And that's how we got introduced to our third partner, Sapna Shah. And then her, myself and Zintle embarked on this journey, to kind of transform the placemats into these beautiful, fully lined leather bags. What the three of us share in common is our values, and we all had very strong matriarchal influences in our life. Sapna had been working in a more corporate environment, and when she went back to India and she visited her grandmother basically showed her all the saris, the hand-woven saris she collected, and that really sparked her passion for hand artisan work. And then Zintle, learning from her mother and her grandmother, she'd always been passionate about it. Myself, I was very inspired by my granny. She always had like piles of beaded jewelry and extravagant hats. So I think she kind of really sparked my interest in fashion, which kind of led me down this road of studying fashion and then coming out to Eswatini.
The basket and wicker product market was valued at $585 million in 2023. But the artisans who harvest the grass and weave the products usually don't earn much unless the weaving and product design is exceptional. Coco Collection has been intentional about protecting the environment while empowering the lives of the women weavers they work with. How have they done this?
We have a close partnership with Gone Rural, and they're the ones who work with the women who conduct the annual harvest, and they also colour the grass furs. So on a sustainability side, we really want to keep working with natural fibres, and also that, something that's biodegradable. So, once people are finished with our bags, we're not leaving a footprint on the environment.
But what are the possibilities for growth within the current production model?
We will always focus on, in terms of growth, is product innovation and working with different weaving techniques and different natural materials. We're always on the lookout for green alternatives for some of the components we use. I'm following with great interest alternatives to leather, for example, and that's something we would like to incorporate in the future as there become more of those on the market.
So maybe we should all take time to slow down and look at how Grandma still does it. Instead of fast throwaway fashion, how could we impact the world if we shifted to classic, timeless styles that make the world a better place?
You have got to love South Africa's diverse fashion scene. From gussy street style to bold traditional prints, we have seen it all. But tonight we saw a more refined take on local fashion. And now I'm about to go catch up with some of the people who saw tonight's runway show. So Karabo, interesting thing about you, you are already wearing the brand. What exactly do you love about this brand, and perhaps maybe about the outfit that you're wearing today?
Yeah, I like that it amplifies who I am. I'm print, I'm color, I'm lively, I'm style. So I could find myself in the collection, because they dress different people, different tastes. So I'm glad I could find what I like.
Miss MC, I see you're also wearing Lord Pulse today.
Yes, I am. I'm actually dressed up in the Overjoyed pants and jacket, which is part of one of their signature collections at Lord Pulse. So I'm excited. I feel elegant, I feel sophisticated, and I think that's what the brand stands for.
Listen, tough choice, but what piece was your favorite today?
Very tough choice indeed. I'm going to have to pick two. The Fearless Lady ensemble, it's this black and orange ensemble, with the black coats with the lace on it. I would definitely wear that. And I have to say, the very last outfits on the runway, it's extravagant, it's amazing, I love it.
Absolutely stunning. Listen, the first collection was absolutely amazing. Can we go see the second one now? Okay. After 20 years in advertising, Joey Kubutlu made a bold move into furniture design. Now he's building a brand that puts African heritage at the center of everyday living. Let's see what that looks like.
What's your idea of good furniture? If it's eye-catching, long-lasting, and well-priced, then maybe this man's designs are for you.
I'm a lover of all things design. I'm a trained designer, but a graphic designer. So all my life I've loved spaces, I've loved well-designed products and so forth. But I found myself not finding the furniture that I loved at accessible price points.
Meet Joey Kubutlu. He spent pretty much his entire career in advertising, and now he's a self-taught designer on a mission to make good design accessible and to put African heritage on the map as well.
I grew up with the fortune of doing a lot of traveling and moving around sub-Saharan Africa in particular. Being an African and consuming African culture, be it spaces, music, fashion, and so forth, influences my design. You cannot not influence my design. One of the things that's very, very common with our pieces is the fact that you hardly see any sharp corners in our designs. And I think that comes from the fact that within African traditional craft making, we're always making things by hand, carving wood by hand. And if you're doing stuff by hand, you're never going to have any sharp corners or very sharp right angles. The other thing as well is if you go into traditional African spaces, specifically like in the village and stuff like that, the furniture, or what we use as furniture, is quite low to the ground. So we sit on the floor, our beds are low to the floor and so forth. So you'll see across our furniture, a lot of the stuff is very low to the ground. The reason that we do that is that as African people, even just indigenous cultures around the world, the practice of being connected to the ground is quite important, of earthing ourselves. The intention hasn't been, I'm doing it because it's African, it's been organic. You know, the stuff that I'm drawn to when I design a piece, how I refine the piece is refined because of my experience, of my lived experience.
Much of South Africa's furniture is imported from China, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. Joey's furniture appeals to the middle-class market, looking for high-end, locally produced furniture without breaking the bank.
I think that our middle class is stretched financially, but they are still aspirational. And at the time, I was still in the corporate space. But even being in the corporate space, being very well employed as a senior executive, I found that beautifully made pieces of furniture were incredibly expensive.
What makes these pieces more in reach for young buyers?
A key intervention that we employ that allows us to achieve what we're trying to do in making the furniture accessible is the material that we use. One of the biggest costs is the material that we use, and we specifically use pine plywood. It's where they layer pieces of wood and compress them together. Now, pine plywood isn't typically associated with designer furniture. It's typically used for container ships and for building and stuff like that. But we saw the opportunity in this material because it's very, very strong. It's incredibly durable. So rather than using solid wood, which is what's typically used in high-end furniture, we opted for pine plywood, which is a cheaper material, but at the same time, its characteristics are that of hardwood.
For Joey, it's about storytelling through design and not just form and function.
One of the things that we do as well is all of our product names are named in indigenous African languages, whether it's Swahili, Shona, even Arabic and so forth, just to tell the story of the continent in some shape or form. And also to be obvious about the story that we're trying to tell. And not just South African languages because I'm South African, but for the continent, because our aspiration is to be on the continent and not just to be in South Africa alone. This is called the Moyo coffee table as part of the Moyo collection. And the reason why it's called Moyo is because Moyo is the Sepedi name for the baobab tree. The African baobab tree have got these massive big trunks. They're considered spiritual trees, and they were so big that people also lived inside them because they could be hollow at times. These very, very thick legs are an ode to that, reminiscent of that, of this very thick, very rooted structure that you see in nature. And essentially what this range does, it attempts to mimic that.
Joey's designs show us that beauty, heritage, and accessibility can live in the same space, and that good design is meaningful design.
Our last stop is Nairobi, where visual curator Nyambura Warenge takes us through the city's bustling creative pulse. Let's join her and see more.
Hello, I'm Nyambura Warenge. I'm a visual arts curator. We're here in Nairobi, the capital of my country, Kenya. Nairobi, with an estimated population of over 5 million people, is an energetic place. It is also one of Africa's fastest growing cities. In just over a century, Nairobi has transformed from a modest railway depot to vibrant metropolis, an economic and cultural hub in East Africa. Away from the busy streets, the city boasts lush highland terrain and the savanna that houses our famous wildlife parks. In stark contrast to those natural wonders is Mathare, one of the largest informal settlements in sub-Saharan Africa, home to almost 500,000 people. In the late 1800s, Kenya was known as British East Africa, and the traces of this colonial past are all over Nairobi. Kenya became independent from Britain in 1963. These days, Nairobi has a cutting-edge contemporary art scene that sits side by side with more traditional creative legacies. All of this makes Nairobi an exciting cultural destination that reflects a rich past. My country has an ancient history of trade with other Indian Ocean cultures. And so, we are a multicultural nation with competing viewpoints. The shows I curate offer a perspective on the complex identities that Kenyans are embracing. Together with curator Don Handa, I created a show called Found Footage. I would love to show you one of my first exhibitions, Found Footage. Found Footage looks at two photographers, one Kenyan, one Iranian German. The Found Footage show featured the work of Mahdi Sae, who documented Afro-Iranian communities through photographs. The Found Footage exhibition also profiled the work of Nairobi photographer Migwen Thiga, who captures coastal Kenyan communities. By featuring these two photographers, this exhibition explored questions around the identities of Africans in Indian Ocean communities. In this exhibition in Found Footage, I really looked at also getting archival footage. And this also is set up so that people interact. One of the goals of being a curator for me is how does the public engage with the work? How do they live and leave the space engaged, enlightened, and with new visions? Another exhibition I'd love to tell you about is 27. And I was brought in as a curator to catalyze a discussion around not only gay and lesbian human rights, but the rights of freedom in our country. Section 27 of the Kenyan Constitution speaks of the right to equal protection before the law. And with this exhibition, I explored how this applies to the LGBTQI+ community who are criminalized in Kenya. My next big show was Norma XR, which showcased 6 artists working with virtual reality experiences. The XR experience, Norma, brought everything together for me as a curator. How I wanted to engage with the public deeply over different types of technologies. More importantly, Norma was experimentation. So there you have it. I've introduced you to some of my favorite children. How about you come and join me in Nairobi, the capital of my country, Kenya.
And that is it for tonight. We hope that you enjoyed the show. I'm about to go mingle now, but do hit us up on our socials. And until next time, goodbye.
Seven, ay, sigi, ay, sebe. Ana bogo ya wo kele janya sa. Ana bogo yebu kele janya sa. Mazu kele, wako mama mamne. Mazu kele waya, nejile waya. Mazu kele waya, onyeze wa mama waya. Ana melechi waya.
Today there is really no much protocol. We are just going to have fun, celebrate Africa, celebrate us, celebrate everybody, celebrate community. And not much speeches. So I'm just going, you know, in Africa, when you go to a person's home, you have to wait for the host of the owner of that neighborhood to actually, the head of the neighborhood, to welcome everyone. So I'm going to call on Mayor, our Mayor Bob, to welcome everybody. He's the mayor of the village of Elmsford. The mayor, the best mayor in the country, I would say that. The mayor, Bob. We just call him Mayor Bob.
Thank you, Iffy. Welcome everybody to Elmsford. We're going to have a great time today. Iffy always throws a great party, right, Iffy? Thank you. We want to thank Iffy and everybody for the food pantry and everything she does in her office and for the community. Every week she's calling me with another idea of something she's going to do to help everybody. So we want to thank her. How about a round of applause for Iffy and everybody on her staff? Thank you again. The weather held out. A little cool, but it's okay. Africa Day today, but she called me, she said, I'm going to have Africa Day right after the food pantry. I said, okay, that's going to be fine. Probably a long day for you though, right? It's going to be fun. My two colleagues are with me. We're going to introduce them in a second, and it's always great to see our legislator and assemblywoman. They're wonderful people. They do a great job for us, and I'm lucky that they're our representatives because every time I need something, they're always there for me. Thank you very much. Welcome. Everybody have a great day. As she said, no speeches today. Today's the day for the community. And Africa Day, everybody enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much. Mayor, don't leave. We have something symbolic. I am going to call, Elmsford and this district and this area is made up of different people. A lot of people are working, just like the mayor said, to make this neighborhood, this community, what it is. And I'm going to call on Assemblywoman Mary Jane Shimsky. She has been a strong supporter of ECHO's Africa Initiative. I have to say that, you know, when you are doing something and the very first person in Westchester to help us get a grant is Assemblywoman Mary Jane Shimsky. We are so honored that you were able to make it. Thank you for being here, and please a word.
Thank you so much, Iffy, and welcome to everyone. This is not the kind of weather we generally associate with Africa, but the richness of the culture, just listening to the music the last 40 minutes or so has been absolutely uplifting. And it's wonderful for everyone in this diverse country to learn about all of the great things that all of us have to offer. So have a happy Africa Day. Enjoy everything that Iffy has set up. And I will try to pass the microphone over to Jewel Williams Johnson, your county legislator. Thank you, Assemblywoman. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here, great to be celebrating culture and the diaspora and all the African countries on Africa Day. It is my pleasure to be here, and I want to thank ECHO Africa Initiatives for everything they do. Only Effie would plan an event after humbly helping and serving in the food pantry. And we know how important both things are, to help people in need and to celebrate culture, especially in these times. So thank you for always digging in and helping and being a resource and assistance to everyone. It's my honor to be here, and let's have a great Africa Day.
Thank you. And just before they step aside, before we really go into the program for today, which is really not formal, we are just going to do a symbolic raising of the African Union flag. For people who do not know, every May 25th, since 1963, is designated as Africa Day. That's why you see that Africa Day is celebrated the week of and even the month of May all over the world. And I walked into Legislator Williams Johnson's office the other day, and I asked her, I said, why is it that you hear you're celebrating other ethnic groups, but when it comes to Africa Day, everybody everywhere is quiet, you know? But she has moved a step further to actually, I'm sure she's going to say something about that today, and she's planning something for next year for Africa Day. So this will be the very first time the African Union flag will be raised in Westchester, and Ainsford is the host. So I'm going to have them help me do a symbolic raising of the Africa Union flag.
Can you put your hands together for them as they do that, please? Just keep clapping our hands, keep jamming your hands together. Africa to the world! This is beautiful! So before we allow you to step aside, I want to teach you, please, so you go home with an African language. So we're going to be teaching them some Pidgin English. All right? So, in Africa, when I say how you doing, this is how we say it. How you doing, ma? You want to try that? How you doing?
How you dig?
How you doing?
How you, oh, how you dig?
Please, can you say that again?
How you dig?
Now she has the accent. Please say another applause for her. So, Miss, I'm going to ask you, in Africa, when we want to ask if you've eaten, we say, share you don't chop. Share you don't chop. You want to try that?
Share you don't chop.
Wow! This is crazy! Please, 60 feet. Are you sure these are not Africans? No, because I was thinking it's gonna be like a difficult thing for them to say, and the way they're just saying it, you know. Sir. Now, when we see someone, I want to say what's happening. We say, how far now? How far now? Okay, let's go.
How far now?
Wow! Please, a round of applause for him, please. This is beautiful. So now, when you see your African brothers and sisters, you can like, how far now? How body? Meaning, how are you? Now, when you see you ask, Maybe they're hungry. Say, you don't chop. Share you don't chop. Don't forget that. And today you ask them, how you day? Please a round of applause for them as they have their seat. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry, people, the women there, they are called the Anyoma women of Delta State. Anyoma is a very culturally centric ethnic group in Delta State, one of the biggest oil producing states in Nigeria. And so they have requested that they want to take pictures with you people. Please come over. The Anyoma, as you can see, my husband is dressed in the Mele. He's from that region. Victor. So join them.
Please, I need someone from Jamaica, someone from Puerto Rico. Spanish, please, can you come? I just need one person. Okay, thank you, please. Just come here. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, what about somebody? Okay, I need somebody from Nigeria. One person.
Paul, you gonna go?
Nigeria. Okay, we have someone from Nigeria. What about from Ghana? Ghana. Okay, somebody from Cameroon. What about Sierra Leone? I need one person, please. And where's my sister that she's from Chad? Where is she? Okay, please, a round of applause for her. She's from Chad. Please, can you come? Can you come this way? Oh, yeah, Jamaica. Oh, beautiful. Okay, do we have Sierra Leone? Please, if you're in Sierra Leone and you're here, can you suspend what you're doing? I just need one person. One person from Sierra Leone. Huh? They're all alone. Okay, they say Sierra Leoneans are all alone. What about Cameroonians?
With a mission inspired by a vision of a world of equity where all voices are heard and all people are seen, histories and cultures shared and appreciated even when not understood. We tell stories of the underrepresented, the misrepresented, the underserved, of victories, defeats, mourning, and celebrations. Inspiring stories, enlightening stories that teach and galvanize. We'll take you on a journey across continents, telling stories of all people. We wrote about them, filmed, uploaded, and brought them to your homes at your fingertips. Our vision is in sight, one story at a time. We tell stories that make impact, stories that galvanize, echoes from the valley. Storytelling for social change. Showing on Proxnet Television USA Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Showing also on African Independent Television AITs at 6:30 p.m. Echoes from the Valley. Storytelling for social impact.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. No, it's not dance. It's not dance. It's not dance. It's not dance. So we're gonna speak in our own language, in our country. Yeah. So I'm gonna start by asking you, how are you doing? So you're gonna say that to me, back to me in Jamaica. You're gonna say that back to me in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Spanish, and in Chad. Are you ready? So how you doing?
Wagwan.
Wagwan. What about you? 80 cent. What about you? How you doing?
Odema.
Pidgin English, don't worry.
I did fine.
You're gonna say it back to me. How you doing?
How you did?
How you day? Okay. What about you?
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? What about you, ma?
Inchiafe.
Inchiafe. Didn't you see that God is awesome? Okay, we're gonna come back. Have you eaten today?
They eat yet.
They eat yet? Now, wow, God is beautiful. What about you? Where the dinner? I hope I don't bite my tongue today. What about you?
You don't chop.
You don't chop. What about you?
Comestewe.
Comestewe. You see, there's a way of learning different languages, you know. What about you, Mama?
I don't know, Chair. I think no, Central African Republic. Motekobe.
I'm just saying that. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. So, one more, then I allow you guys to go. So I want you to say hi. Just say hi to the people. Just greet the people in the Jamaican way. Greet them. How you doing? You know, everyone. Your name is, you say your name and say greet everyone.
Hey, my name is Julian. Hi. My name is Meg. How not day? Welcome.
Okay, thank you. What about you?
Hola, mi gente. Me llamo Gianna. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. What about you, Mama?
I'm going to say that in Central African Republic. Ganjonyo. Gonjoni.
Ganjonyo, please, a round of applause for them. A round of applause for them.
Would want to say just a token of appreciation for people who have supported, a few of the people who have supported the things that we do. And we call them agents of change, who touch lives, who support at any point in time that we call on them, they support. Some of them, I dragged them out of the United States to Africa. And these are very busy people. They do their own thing. And this year, October, we are going to Nigeria. We have just signed an agreement with the Ministry of Health. We are doing a national mental health conference in Nigeria in October. And all of the people that I go, the things we do here, we do everywhere in the city. They are very supportive. So I'm going to hand over to Mayor to please call on our first agent of change for 2026.
Baby, calm down. Yeah, this your body, they put in my heart for lockdown. Tell me what.
Okay, the mayor doesn't want to mispronounce Nigerian or African names. So our first agent of change is someone who has selflessly and always selflessly supported the things that we do, free. And most times he puts his own money. I will ask, oh, can you donate? He donates. Can you support? He supports. And the very first person is, he didn't know, we just asked that he came here today and he left everything he's doing to be here. Dr. Thaddeus Iheanacho, our agent of change for 2020. Dr. Ted, our own Dr. Ted. Dr. Ted is a psychiatrist and is the director of Yale University Global Mental Health Program. He's traveling all over the world. At one point in time, you don't know where he is. And I asked him, I told him we're doing Africa Day. Can you come? He didn't even know this. And he left everything he's doing all the way from Yale, Connecticut. And he came here today to honor our invitation. Dr. Ihe Najo.
This is such a surprise. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. I was looking up the website of Africa, Initiative, and I took some time again to see all of the things you're doing, all of the work you're doing, and it gladdens my heart. It's the community here, but also in New York, and going to Africa, and going to Nigeria. So this is really wonderful, and I'm completely surprised. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. More grease to your elbow. We'll continue to support, and whatever you do, whatever you want us to support you, we'll keep doing that. Thank you so much.
Seven.
I want to share a story around the Recycle Spay educational project. This project started far back, I think 2018 December, and it came out of the desire to provide solution to children that are out of school in terms of trying to find an alternative for us to ensure that they stay in school to learn.
As the saying goes, education is the best legacy. It is the desire of every parent to give quality and acceptable education to their words. However, the inequality of life and the systemic poverty level in our society have made it difficult for some to pay their words' school fees.
The Recycle Spay educational project came out of the desire to provide solution, out of the desire to meet a need.
The reason schools have encouraged and engaged the underprivileged in collection of plastic waste in exchange for fees.
We will collect it from school, and the fund that is equivalent to that recyclables, we will pay it to the school. And for example, if my school fees is 5,000 per term, and I'm able to bring recyclables that is worth like maybe that 1,000 per term for the first maybe donation of turnover, we will take those bottles and we deduct the 1,000 from the 5,000 that is meant for the school fees of that particular child. So it comes down to 4. So they keep doing that over and over and over until eventually they knock off the entire school fees for that term.
Our crew caught up with Mrs. Emen Adiola, a principal of one of the schools that keyed into this waste collection vision and its translation to school fees.
We know that recycling is all about taking dirt out of our environment. So to help our school not to litter the bottles around, that's why we decided to keep the bottles in a place to recycle. Then our own base of value is the monetary aspect. So we are doing it as a school, just to help get some things for the school with the money that we are making from the recycling. So we are not just doing it for getting our money instantly, but our money is, they call it monetary value. So we keep it, I think for now we are up to above 5,000. So I'm sure it will still keep counting. Not touching the money for now. We are looking at getting, most especially, laptops for our students.
How do the parents feel about the mode of payment of their wards' school fees?
You don't help my family, most especially one of my sons graduate from here and I did secondary school.
Wow.
Then I still can't get small and we will say, nah, they assist now.
Since I was born, in fact, I have never seen this kind of program in my life. Even in my own days, it's not like that. If it is like that, most of the people who do not participate in education, maybe with this or that, they can be able to participate. They can be able to go to school because of, some people don't go to school because of money.
It should be noted here, the waste collection has been a regular trade for some, as stated by Sefiu Saminu, a truck pusher from Katsina.
For it's almost 2 days to pack it because they are following inside the area. Some then enter inside quarter. Some if people they read minerals, if they throw it, they are follow and pick it one by one. Some of them, they are a student because they don't have school fees. If they come Lagos and supply this one, they will gather the money and go back to pay some school fees. Because some of them, they don't have a father or seniors brother where they go assist them about the school. So especially like me, I am fucking it. I don't have a person who can assist me to pay my school fees. Some, if we get holiday, I am coming in Lagos and do this like this work, or to carry car, or I will follow a simple way to get to see money, but I can't tip person something, I can't do anybody, I will show my sweat to go back and pay my school fees.
The whole idea is to create wealth from waste, keep the environment clean, and also creating a means of livelihood.